Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TFTV. We've still got ETF2L finals week going. Last night we had maybe the most important final. It's obviously the low final, but you cannot forget the second most important final in ETF2L. You've got the two right in the name. We've got the Div 2 finals, we've got Placeholder, Denmark. It's basically Lego from ages past versus Street debils, the Czech team. My name is Wandum. We've got Just Jazz here on production all the way from across the pond, and then of course Dave here as well to help us through this this game.
Yeah, it should be a good game, to be honest. Obviously, you're going to be very, very biased, I imagine.
Extremely
being Danish
so,
yourself.
obviously.
So, what I want to know is there a Czech equivalent of Denmark Vinder? Because I need to just spam it everywhere. So, if we've got Czech people in the chat, please let me know if there is some kind of Vamos, Allez, that kind of thing that the Czechs have.
So obviously Denmark winner translates directly to Denmark is winning. It's a very important thing to spam in the chat once Placeholder do in fact start winning. I'm gonna call them Lego just like by just association. It will happen. Placeholder is just Lego. Oh, unfortunately, that's just what they're going to be called. It's a full Lego roster. I think we should just run through it just for the hell of it. We've got Krizzle, and they have got... Who's their other scout? I'm pretty sure it's... who cares? It's Hellberg. Yeah, Krizzle and Hellberg on scout. And we've got Toast and Zen on soldier. I'm pretty sure Dr. Pill is on Demo Man. And then they've got F2, the oldest man in the universe, is on medic for them as well. F2 obviously is an Insomnia Land champion back in like 2013 or something. He won with Epsilon. And now he's here in Div 2. A big moment for him.
Kind of boomer central, really. I mean, even in this Czech roster, we got Thomas, Mars, Breeze, Chichina, SNH, and Gedu. And all of them have like tons and tons of games played. Chichina is the only one who I think he's only had played 2 or 3 seasons. So he's kind of the one zoomer, and then everyone else is kind of bringing out their zoomer frames for this tonight.
It's so weird to have to start calling people like Tomash boomers, because like in my head they started playing a little bit after I started playing, which means they're just kind of zoomers as well. But no, like Tomash, Degu, they've been around forever. Breeze as well. He's not been around the top divisions, but he's definitely been lurking below a little bit. SNH, not actually sure. How long has SNH been around? He had a really nice frag video last season. That's why I remember him.
Yeah, I think he's been around for quite a while.
Yeah. But it's definitely, I mean, Czech Republic, of course, they have strong TF2 players. This is basically the Danish national team versus the Czech Republic national team. It's, I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. This is a match full of pride. It's very important, obviously, to me personally, that Dr. Phil absolutely slams some kids. I will repeatedly make fun of him because it's my national duty to do so. But besides that, you know, I mean, honestly, Dave, I really want to just frame this as a classic battle of good versus evil. You know, the classic hero's tale of the old guy. It's sort of like it's kind of like the last Rambo movie where he's just like hanging out on a farm. Like not even Dr. Phil. F2's like hanging out on a farm. He's been on his last mission. Dr. Phil comes in and he's like, dude, just one last ride, man. I just got to get myself a Div 2 medal, man. And F2, he just can't say no to the boys. He has to come back. He has to show up. He has to teach some kids how to play the game.
Yeah, maybe. That's an interesting framing. I was going to go more along the whole, these, these Lego boys have been around for a while. They've just really make it very awkward for people because they never want to give up the red team. You can see even in this server right now, everyone wants to go on. They don't want to call themselves Lego, but they still want to be on the red team for the Danish flag, I imagine.
Of course. But it's the rule. If you have 6 Danish players on your team, you have to have the red team. It's just how it goes. If there's other countries that also have a red flag, unfortunately, they just have to take the L on that one. There's not much to do. Speaking of Danish traditions, another very important Lego tradition is, I think if you're around now, you might not know this, but a sacred tradition for all 6 of these players, actually, is sandbagging divisions. They are famous Lego, especially the old school Lego roster that had basically the same players, excluding Toast. Pretty much the only one not on that roster, instead of Toast, was Natural. Who's playing, they kept being in Div 1 and winning Div 1. and not wanting to play Prem, so they changed their roster ever so slightly so they could keep playing Div 1. And eventually they literally, I'm pretty sure they had to play Prem or they would just have gotten banned from ETF2L. So notorious sandbaggers, now they're in Div 2. And you can ask yourself, how much competition is it? One thing you have to realize as well is LEGO are the original slow team. Before Cadus came in with the Reason Gaming and the 7 being really slow, the original slow team that everyone hated playing against is LEGO. Back in the good old days, Natural apparently just hated pushing. Just would not do it. Never, ever. They would stalemate absolutely everything. It was fucking beautiful. They made everyone so upset all the time. It was great viewing. If you enjoy, sleeping.
Yeah, I would think that is possibly one of the interesting things if we want to get into a little bit more kind of analysis type of thing. We've had a lot of memes, a lot of jokes, but these are two teams that I expect to have quite different kind of play styles. I don't know if you call any of the Czech semi-final, but it was just so chaotic, so many just all in 6v6 team fights, just medics getting fragged everywhere. People ended up with like 40 frags across the board. And I don't think this Danish team is going to play into that kind of game style as much. Apparently, no. They're as much as traditionally LEGO have been slow, this team as well is a little bit more methodical. They play a bit more properly. They obviously have all the experience of F2 and Dr. Phil, who've been around forever. So it's going to be perhaps a little bit of a clash of one team that wants to play really, really rapid, really, really chaotic, and one that wants to be a lot more controlled.
I can tell you for a fact that if the Czech team, if Street debils play as chaotically as you just advertised them as, it will really make Dr. Phil quite angry if it works. Because he absolutely hates it when teams just kind of press a W key at him and he loses. He would rather not lose to that, essentially. It just makes him upset, which means that there's a very, very good potential for the Czech team to just grab the mental edge. As was saying, these are some old guys on LEGO, maybe lacking a little bit of a reflex. If you're Chichina looking to prove yourself, Chichina's got a lot of points on MGE. Maybe he's looking to style on some old Danish men. And if he can do that, if he can get away with it, I can guarantee you there will be some upset. There's going to be an angry Danish demo man. For sure. And have to remember, mental warfare is also warfare.
It is, and I don't know exactly whether this is mental warfare in terms of we've had to reload the map. Don't know if it was wrong map. The Danes want to play on red, I presume. The Czechs seem like they're settling for blue. There is some blue in the Czech flag, so that's presumably acceptable for them. But yeah, they're taking their time. We are going to get started pretty soon here, I imagine. But yeah, first map is going to be Gullywash, which is, I presume, the Czechs pick because they did have a pretty clean 5-0 victory here in the quarterfinal against Experience. Whereas the Danes, they haven't played this since week 2, so I can't imagine they would have picked this.
But you also have to remember, it's Gullywash is one of those maps where everyone's played a million times. So even if you haven't played it for that much in the season, they've definitely been scrimming it in the off-season as well. And of course, just when you have this amount of experience that you have on the LEGO roster, there's no way that they won't be at least decent on Gullywash, right? Dr. Phil is going to main call. He definitely has some set plays. These guys are used to playing with each other. They've done so for ages. They're going to have some strats. Then they won't get completely caught out. The question is how big is the gap? I'm honestly really curious to see how this Czech team plays because it is going to take a level of coordination for this blue squad, for the Street debils, if they want to be able to beat a team like LEGO, who've played together forever. Obviously not exactly with these classes. Actually, you know what I'm spotting? I thought that Crizzle was on Scout, but it turns out they're actually just completely main classing. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, it bodes pretty well. They've had mostly a pretty easy season, to be honest.
Yeah.
It seems this Div 2, it was obviously split up into 2 groups, but the consensus seems to be that the group the Danes had was a lot easier, a lot lesser of the top teams. And then the other group that the Czechs have come through now was a lot more competitive, a lot closer between everyone. And really the kind of first test the Danes had was that semi-final against Alphasaurus, which they came through in 2 maps, but it was 2 much closer maps than they'd seen earlier on this season. So, probably a good thing for them that they got that kind of one game under their belts. That was a real challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see them struggle for it a little bit, especially because it allows them to warm up at least a little bit for the finals. I'm actually not even sure how serious they're taking this. The Danish Discord, which does exist, and I am not kidding when I say this, the only thing that happens in this Danish Discord is like about 10 people, they all post Denmark winner every single time they win an official, and that's the only thing in the text chat. It's absolutely beautiful. Everyone comes out the woodwork. The only time anything's ever said is just everyone posts Denmark winner, and then we all go back to our separate ways. But I'm waiting for them to go live. There are 12 people, and they're just sitting there, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Someone needs to warm up. There's so much arthritis in the server right now that they've got to warm up. But
F2's bedtime is in like 20 minutes. He has to go to bed.
But you bring up an interesting point about like how seriously are the Danes taking it, and as you say, you're not that certain. But one thing I've heard, apparently these Czechs are very keen. They've also been around for a while, but it seems this season is one that they really want to win. Apparently they've even been doing demo reviews. So if you're doing demo reviews for TF2 in 2022, then you're trying.
That does mean a lot. I can tell. Maybe this is more revealing for my TF2 career, but the last time I did a demo review with a team was in 2015. Haven't really done it since. It's just one of those things where, like, obviously you do it. I can tell you there is no way that that the Danes have done a demo review all 6 together. Dr. Phil does like to watch demos. He still does that. But I don't know if he gets all 6 involved. It's kind of Dr. Phil watches the enemy team play, and then he tells the team what to do. And sort of distills it for everyone else who cannot be bothered to watch it. I also do think that if they were on different classes, they probably wouldn't be trying as hard. I think having Zen and Hellberg on Scout probably means that they are trying just like a little bit, Yeah.
Zen is someone who, whenever I see him on Scout, I think he's played Scout on like pretty much every division at this stage, but it seems that it doesn't matter what kind of level of player he's playing against, he's just always going to frag. And I think he's on the pocket Scout here, and he's just doing such a good job kind of fragging out, but also when you've got a player that knows exactly how to play that role, it's going to make such a difference, because the pocket Scout is definitely the most well, maybe not impactful, but it's overall kind of the strongest role at the moment in the current kind of TF2 meta. And when you have a player like Zen on that kind of role, it's a real boon for your team.
It really is. I think another thing we probably should watch out for, or at least give a heads up already, is we have a bunch of really strong off classes in both teams. I think specifically on Street to Bill side, I know for a fact that Tomash's sniper is absolutely insane. But then on the other hand, I mean, Hellberg is probably the best Danish sniper to ever play the game. He is insane on sniper. We've got Toast as well, who's arguably one of the best Highlander spies ever. Sort of invented the gun spy. Really good at spy. Also in 6s, sort of translates a little bit. They can like randomly pull out just Toast on spy, and more often than not, it actually can work pretty well if you're not expecting it.
Yeah, I think as much as you say, Toast was obviously known for his ambassador aim. When the ambassador was kind of the thing, he would play in Prem Highlander, top frag, top damage, against the best players, and despite that, still good.
We're going live though, Dave. Finally, they are releasing us from having to talk about the pregame. Once again, guys, ETF2L Season 41. We've got the finals week. We've got just 3 finals left, I think, because it's happening at the same time. Division 2, we've got Placeholder, we've got Street to Bills. We're on the first middle already. And so far, both teams kind of rolling out, but there's a very fast soldier bomb on one side. We get sent to the skybox. Rocket doesn't quite connect, but it's a kill onto Dr. Phil with Breeze going down. It is a demo man kill for the Street to Bills, and that means that the red soldiers, the Danish soldiers, they just have no high ground. You can see them, they can't get onto middle. They're just stuck trying to go for something. It's a decent kill onto Chino, actually. Zen has found one, but the soldiers just playing low ground. This is so hard for them to win. Demoman stuffed into choke, and somehow Lego have just managed to climb their way back onto that middle. Tomash dead as well. Means that now they have a player advantage. They can push this into second if they want to.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. They got everything they wanted there. The Czechs, they killed Phil so early, and they had all the position, all the high ground on the point. But then Chechena was kind of stuck behind. Could have come back through choke if it wanted, but wasn't aware. And then once they lost that pick, it was just quite easy for the Danes to just flood back in. They weren't as aggressive as they could have been. They didn't lock them out fully, and they just blew themselves back in.
So now they're going for a little bit play in lower lobby here. It's just going to be toast taking down. Presumably would be going for an off-class fairly soon. It's even Ubers right now, so neither team really has that much of an advantage. But Krizzle is dead in lobby as well, and F2 has been spammed so very low here on mid. He actually gets forced at Chechena. Really nice. Nobody on the red side really able to pick him up at all. So now, Street debils, they have a massive advantage here. They do have a player down. With Krizzle dead as well, it means he's going to walk this through choke. They do not want to pop it, however. They have to be careful. So far, Simming do a decent job. It's a single soldier bomb coming in, but Degu is more than ready for it. Instead, it's going to be a lot of damage onto Lego. They cannot hold mid anymore. Toast dead. Dr. Phil dead as well. Second soldier bomb comes in, but is only a kill onto Scout there. Mars gets taken down. He'll more than happy trade his life for the medic to keep the Uber advantage. They're going to second already.
Yeah, they still have this Uber advantage for quite a while. Only 60% up on F2, so it's with the two soldiers down, there's no real threat of any kind of sack coming in. Dr. Phil did manage to just about escape and put up a couple of stickies, but that was the only real resistance they put up on second. But you know, they did their job. They got all the important players out. They now got 6 up, and now they have the Uber up as well. So while they've had to give up a couple of points because of that force on mid, they at least have now stabilized back on last.
They have indeed, and this is pretty decent. I mean, they can sit here. It's obviously, you would rather not be on last than being on last. The expert analysis you come to TF2V for. But, you know, they've got the Pyro, they've got the Sentry set up. They're just gonna kind of off-class for a while. It's really hard to break this last stop. This is a massive test of the Czech coordination, is how do you deal with this if you are Street debils, right? Because you have this Pyro, have this Sentry gun. It's so difficult to break this.
Yeah, SNH almost died into a sticky trap there in the river area, but he does just about tank it, and now we're seeing Breeze coming in with a bomb towards F2, but he's all the way back in spawn, but he just sends on the point. No one's ready to block, and they just cap it with the scout coming from underneath at the same time.
That was really nice. So just spawning on the pain train, just bombs the point with Tomash in water. Nobody there to counter him. They get the ×4 on the cap. No, such a late response from Lego there. Really, you would expect them a little bit more, but a nice catch out there for the Street debils for a roundup, and already only 4 minutes into the game. That could have taken way longer, but it was a nice heads-up play by them. Pain Train is very cool to see get taken out. And there we go. The MGE fight already happening. Soldiers taking damage on the nipple there, but instead as a soldier in, Breeze almost gets a kill onto F2, but he manages to dodge around, and now the Czech Republic, they have to leave. SNH dead as well. It's just 2 scouts with a medic. Dego should be able to get out alive here with the scout speed. He's already back out on to last, but they managed just not really able to get anywhere. The bombs came forward, but the MGE fight on middle, I have to question it. Not sure it was that good.
It was a decent idea from the Czechs, you know, but the soldiers really committed for like a bit of damage that was on F2 and a bit of damage that was on Phil, but no one really to finish up those frags. Whereas what Toast and Quizzle did was they bombed and they got themselves out, they lived and they got arrowed up, and it meant it was 6 against 4 at the end of that fight.
Yeah, it's been a couple of rough mids. I feel like, I mean, definitely Lego have been getting ahead in these mid fights. Now it's Toast taking kill under here for Breeze. They're trying to break this last hole once again. It's pretty much the opposite situation with the NG, with the Pyro, as Lego are going to try to do something similar. They have to sort of find a way to break this stalemate. Ideally, at least get a force out, but Toast is going to walk onto a sticky point and instantly die, which is the big difference. Now Hellberg actually gets caught out in main as well. Chechena is going to find a nice little kill there. He gets a nice bomb onto F2 as well. He's going to have to be careful, and the Uber's forced out there. Big stuff from Chechena now. Massive advantage for the Street debils. They cannot lose too many players to this Uber. Breeze almost gets taken down, but that's enough. Street debils now, they should be looking to push this.
Yeah, they're still, unfortunately, I guess they're waiting for the Chechena spawn, but it's given the couple of spawns up for Lego at the same time. They're taking kind of a while. The NG was sticking around for a while until they got the Roma spawn up for them, and now they're trying to move forward in towards the second area. They've actually, ooh, I see F2 backing up into the choke. He's playing nice and safe. There's one soldier that wanted to go for something, but Charisma's going to get himself out of there as well. So they've actually negotiated that pretty well. They're just taking themselves into second, put a little bit of pressure down on the choke, and you could see the Danes, they didn't want anything of that. They backed themselves up, but everyone's kept themselves safe right now.
So now they've got Hellberg on snipers, going to try to find something in through big door. This sniper into second rather. Not much the best time for a sniper on Gullywash, at least in my opinion, unless you're like sniping out of last. It's the one that has the most open angles. There's a demo man showing himself, a little bit risky out of SNH, drops down to 100 HP, but nothing too major. Degu hiding around a corner. So if if Hellberg rather wants to headshot a medic, he's gonna have to really work for it. There's no way he gets that shot. He's gonna have to go for sort of a stocky hero play, but the soldier in Wandum still, it's gonna be difficult. He's actually peeking for it. He tries to get the medic, does not. Ends up going down. A very close stuff out of him. Doesn't hit the headshot, and now it's pick advantage for the Street debils. Breeze is kinda low, and they can't really break through this big door. Hellberg tried to go for it. I wonder if he's going to stay on sniper here, but it's going to be like Street debils are actually getting really aggressive here. They're taking a lot of damage though. Chichina already dead. Soldier bombs in through, but Breeze gets shot down by Zenith. So now 2 kills. Both soldiers are dead for the Street debils. Lego, they should be looking to push this. They're trying to spam out Degu, who's getting taken really, really low. Has to pop the Uber charge onto both scouts here. The counter Uber comes out of F2. Now the medic's in lobby. Gonna have to run out carefully, but the nice little pipes out of F2 doesn't quite find him. Dr. Phil, unfortunately not able to find that, but it's still so much damage in lobby. Crizzle taken down. The health is not there. There's a scout back cap going on. It's not enough for them. They don't make it in time, but now there's 2 scouts behind in big door. They're getting sandwiched multiple areas here. Placeholder really have to be careful because Dr. Phil's already dead. Hellberg trying to take a fight in the flank. It's not enough. F2 has to run back to middle, and that looked honestly really good for Placeholder, but they didn't quite find it in the end.
Yeah, they did so well throughout most of that fight, but then Dr. Phil just ends up getting some support. His team not on the same wavelength. Now with the demo down, they've had to give him a bit of position, but at the moment they're still in lower. We can see Hellberg is trying to run in for the back cap, but he does see there is Chichina. Actually, both soldiers are stuck on last, waiting for them. They haven't been able to... Oh!
Dr. Pill, a little bit of a sticky bomb there, finds 2 kills. There's another kill on to Breeze. Actually, everyone is so low on the Street debils. Degu's only 80 HP. He's back on last. Tomash is dead as well. They're just rushing this straight through main. They don't even have the second cap yet, but it should be enough. Okay, Degu gets the Uber. That's absolutely massive for cutting this out long enough. They need to find some fragment Placeholder. They're just not quite finding it. The Uber gets popped, but they just lose 2 of their own. They have to watch out here for the soldier bomb coming out to China. Just gets taken down immediately. Instead, Mars dead. They have to be careful in Street debils as well. If Placeholder get enough kills, they can just run this straight back into last. But Degu, he managed to cut it out. He managed to get the Uber. So we're back to a stalemate, looks like, at least for now.
Yeah, we were talking about that Dr. Phil pick being kind of big in terms of an opportunity for the Czechs, but they weren't considering the fact that when he respawned, he'd have the stickies up on that choke. They tried to bust it, and just ended up 2 of them walking into stickies. Means that I've been pinned back on last. Could have been a lot worse whether there was a sticky moment for a while where I think they only had 3 players up, and it did look like the Danes wanted to convert the round. But at the moment we're in something of a stalemate. Both teams have 100%. There's one little gamer underneath, just toast, trying to spam down the soldier off the little rim. Just managed to knock him out, but at the moment not too much cap time, not too many other players peeking to look to maybe go in for some kind of force or, a kind of coordinated point play like we saw from the Czechs earlier. But at the moment, yeah, it seems Toast is backed up, Crizzle gone down, traded out for Chichina, so at the moment, it's just settled down. It's a little bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, unfortunately not much happening. Once again, this Engineer Pyro combo is really hard to break, especially with Breeze playing up on top of that rim, a top point. It makes it really hard for Toast to really go for anything, but that door has allowed Crizzle actually to come up with a little bit of a sniper. Usual to see him snipe. We're gonna have to give it a go anyway. They're sort of setting up onto river already. Soldier walking in through water. Now, not going to take the fight immediately, I don't think, but that's a nice headshot to start out with. Breeze is now taken down, which means that the point has a lot less stickies on it, but unfortunately Toast, he doesn't have the pain train check, he doesn't get that cap, and now there's a soldier waiting for him. The Uber comes out here, but into that pyro, into that sentry, is going to do almost nothing. It's a sentry gun taken down, but China's found the frag onto Toast, and now in this post Uber, there's just absolutely no high ground. F2 is stuck on the point, but in the meantime, Zenith, he almost finds the point cap. They have to be so careful of it. There's sticks underneath. It's a kill onto China. Now they have to be so careful. Dr. Phil is just winning the round on his own. Down through water.
So much just crazy stuff going on. We thought that would be an advantage for the Czechs. Turns out Danes capitalising off it. They actually had... I mean, it wasn't a good Uber by any means, a good trade coming in. F2 got caught by the Pyro airblast into a corner. They couldn't find the frag onto him, and then just Dr. Phil runs in with the pain train, finishes off the round, and it's back to 1-1.
Yeah, nice stuff. The pain train on Gullywash last is so huge. Gives you such a fast cap time. This time around on middle, it's so much damage from both teams. Degu is really low, has to play carefully here. As Toast is dead already as well. Now, the Danes have the low ground. They don't have the high ground here, really, as the pencil jump comes forward to China. Tries to go for the MGE bomb. Unfortunately, this gets piped by Dr. Pill instead. Now Zen is dead, which means there's just not really any players left alive for Lego. Everyone except F2 is alive, I say, as he killbinds. Rather just die immediately. He was really low already, and now Street Debils, they have to just go, basically. Take as much space as they can. They have a giant advantage here on their second already. They're walking into the lobby. They're just going to take this demo and scout straight through shutters already. They're in. The sentry gun doesn't even have time to be set up by Zen here, as the scout is Ubered straight onto the point. Now he's just going to cap. There's just so much cap time, and the Danes are just not there in time. It's 2-1 now for the Street Debils with a blazing fast round there.
Yeah, different change of pace for sure. They putting their foot on the accelerator, and that was really the first time they changed up to mid. They pushed across as a unit. All 6 gamers were just peppering the enemy choke, just flooding into it. And at the moment, you know, Placeholder, they weren't ready for that mid. Will they be ready for this one?
Yeah, they've been playing the low ground and sort of waiting for the enemy to make mistakes, at least so far. This time around, it's a really nice kill from Hellberg onto SNH. They do lose Toast, and that's China with a kill onto F2 on the flank as well. So now, once again, Placeholder is stuck on the low ground. They have basically no HP, but you have to watch out, because Dr. Pill is hitting some pipes, and Degu and Tomash are both in a pipe range, honestly. Wins that mid pretty much on his own, but now... I mean, the heals are still alive. Degu, he has spawners now. Maybe they can sneak out this cap, but I don't think they can hold this at all. F2 is just not there. So now Hellberg actually gets pulled as well. He goes so low. There's no pack. He's gonna die. Thomas!
Oh, and now SNH is up and spamming down Dr. Filch, locking him out of the choke. They still have this 100% Uber, because Gedu did manage to survive all the pressure that was coming on him into that mid. They're now moving down through the big door area, running 2 scouts and a demo man at SNH. I've got Chichino as well with them for company, and not too much of a threat in terms of any kind of sneaky soldier that can bomb onto the combo. But F2 still only at 65%, so there is an opportunity here for them to move into last minute, the Uber advantage push before F2 comes up on that Uber.
They're going to have to run it pretty quick, though, because F2 now is about 90%, which means he should be able to kite this out should it happen. Street Debils have not committed for this quite yet, but there we go. It's a little bit of a sloppy sack, honestly. Breeze gets taken down on the flank, and Chichina fails a bomb, which means now they're 2 soldiers down. They cannot hold lobby. They back out all the way out the big door. Pretty much the safest location to hold if you're trying to sort of maybe hold second a little bit. Looking for a force now onto Dr. Phil. They don't want to lose their medic here. Degu gets forced. It gets so hard for them to do anything, but the damage out of Placeholder means that they just have no business holding second anymore. Tomash taken down in this Uber here. Dr. Phil finds it, and now instead this Uber trade, they don't actually find more. Never mind. Breeze is taken down as, there we go, there's so much damage coming across. They're trying to get in here. There's 2 kills for Dr. Phil. Has to be careful of the soldier, but he's just going to be bombing right back out. No further frags being found for the Street Debils. They just have to run out. They keep bleeding players as well. With Chichina dying so late, can they hold second? They've also got a sniper here. It's going to be hard for them to hold.
Yeah, just in there from Lego, they got a couple of picks on the flank, but rather than trying to bust it, they just put all 6 players into the combo. And just, again, they're just flooding so many players through this choke. Everyone body slamming through. They get a lot of damage down onto Gedu, can't get the frag onto him. Everyone's so low on the checks. Gedu's running out of there as well, but it looks like they'll settle for second at the moment here, the Danes, but they are coming up with this Uber with a very, very sharp, small advantage.
They have 3 picks. They're just going to run this back into last. They even have the Uber advantage, but they have to shoot Degu pretty much right now. They're playing the point already, but the sticky bombs are there, and there we go. The Uber comes out of the blue side. Street debils, they pop the Uber. The Pyro's there to completely defend the point. Nobody's getting anywhere near it. The cap time was not really there at all, but Dr. Phil's still on last here. He's not with the rest of his team. He's just playing waters now. Suddenly, the rest of Denmark just comes flooding right in. Heavy onto the point, gets taken down. There's only Breeze left alive, and the Danes, they've tied it back up 2-2. 14 minutes to go, and it's all to play for there.
Yeah, great little collapse. Just the one gamer underneath the point, turning some heads. Everyone turned around for him. It's the soldiers and the scouts all flooded in, just shooting people in the back. And while they went really, really low on the Danish side, the focus fire was much better for them. They got enough frags and they got the round. Now we're back at 2-2, as you say.
Very aggressive middle there out of Breeze. Almost gets taken down. Both soldiers actually on the blue side eating a lot of damage. Breeze is taken down by Toast. Not that good of a trade for Placeholder size. At least not yet, but look at the damage coming out of SNH. He basically cannot play the middle because the damage coming across from a Dr. Phil. They just force him out on his own. Now Tomesh dead as well. It's 3 kills for Placeholder. They're going to be looking to bust this right into second already.
Yeah, and with the picks that they have, it means they just have to run all the way back to last year. The Czechs giving a lot of space up, taking the high ground here, Placeholder. Seeing that again, there's not too much of a threat. Both teams now coming up just about on 100%. Looks like, you know, they're going for just getting themselves some position to last because
Toast on Spy, Dave. We talked about it. It's there. There is a Pyro. But if anyone can deal with a Pyro, it's probably the Highlander Spy, right? Surely, as he's stealthed his way into loss so far, it's gonna be difficult. But this Spy opens up a lot of doors here for the LEGO team.
Yeah, certainly. 2017 Toast would just be rattling off headshots onto the Pyro, but the moment he's having to rely on sneaking himself into the middle position, Mars blasts a couple of flames his way, but he will escape. Not too much spy checking.
The engineer actually bumped him, but he didn't see. Now he's on the stab. He gets the face stab, and the pistol from Zen gets taken out from a mile away. He got 2 front stab, just fucking shanked him twice. And he just gets pistoled down by Zen from across the map. A massive drop there by Degu. So unfortunate. But now Mars is on sniper and he's going to have to hit the world. It's a decent start on Dr. Phil, but Uber comes out anyway. But Crizzle, he cannot jump because this sentry gun does so much work. As there we go. The Uber's pretty much all but faded. Hellberg is dead as well. This Uber has not gone well for Placeholder. And they have no position on last. They've just given it up pretty much immediately. That Uber was a disaster for them. That was so well played to get the kill into Degu, but they just completely throw it away.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's about as bad as an Uber can go, but, you know, it's just Dr. Phil just dying to the headshot as soon as they try and enter, means they don't have any damage down onto the sentry gun, and then it's just so depressing seeing a soldier goes for one jump, gets juggled back straight back to the ground, and then just has to waddle, fire a few kind of rockets. All they got was a sentry gun, nothing else doing with the Uber, and it's allowed the Czechs now to move out onto the second point. They're going to come up the Uber as well, basically just a little shortly after F2 got it. So basically even Uber's a sack attempt from Toast, but he just kind of launches himself a little bit in the air, but doesn't get anywhere near getting that time.
It's so hard to bomb in onto second as a soldier like that. You really need, like, even if there is a distraction, you can see both scouts on the blue side is playing on the high ground, which means it's basically impossible as a soldier to jump anywhere. They'll just shoot you down. It's mission impossible here. Toast gets the sack in. He's actually back up on soldier. There's no off classes here for LEGO. I mean, they have the time for it. It's 10 minutes on the clock now, which, I mean, they can play it slow if they want to. 2-2. There's enough time for them to get an off-classer. Instead, they're going to keep it to the soldiers, but they're going to have to find a way somehow to break this second hold out of the Street debils. Try to find an angle. So far, they're looking to try and take it through Victor. There's the big blue demo man who is going to make sure that Toast gets killed once again.
Yeah, but he's hit a nice little shot into Toast. Now he's jumped in himself and he's got the drop onto F2. That's a great turnaround from him. Just winning a nice little MGE duel. Comes in, sees the opportunity, lands on F2, and there's a drop. And now the Czechs are going to want to move this in with the huge full Uber advantage they have before F2's even up. So there's not going to be any more buffs left on the side of the Danes, and they want to move in towards this midpoint. They're going to have a chunky Uber advantage to maybe move on to second and even last.
If you're a placeholder, you're trying your absolute hardest to get this force as soon as the street debils come into second. You can see Toast is actually already on the high ground, but he's shooting a soldier instead of the medic that's going to come through the choke one in second. You can see how passively Degu is playing. Those stickies on the ground, on his feet, just to make sure that he does not get forced. Lego, they don't want to give this up. They're playing the high ground right now. They're about 50% on F2. They want to stall this out just a little bit longer. But there we go. No, because Toast is going to walk forwards. Nobody gets an Uber charge in this game, because Degu's just dropped one of his own. Look at the health on the blue side. It's abysmal. Placeholder, they're just holding this in lobby, but they should be able to move forward soon, and there is no single blue soul on this second point anymore.
Huge oversight there from Street Debils. They got themselves into second. They got some of the high ground across the point. They wanted to move and use the Uber in through the lobby, but they just didn't have any control of the bats. They didn't have a soldier jumping up there to pressure them back, and Toast was able to peek it, get the drop onto the soldier. So Toast is now in again. He's gonna get found out, fragged in the little elbow area. Hellberg wants to continue making a little bit of a fight happen on mid. They've actually got 3 picks here, so it means the Czechs are gonna have to back themselves out, and F2 is now the one with the Uber advantage.
In an ideal world, Placeholder do not want to pop this into second. They want to keep this ad, and they want to honestly just roll this into last as soon as they can. They still have an advantage here. Degu about 70% now. I actually don't think they have enough time anymore, especially if Breeze just gets in and gets the force onto F2. Now the Uber's gone right back in the Street Debils' favor. They are on last. They do have a heavy up. You have to be a little bit careful. Watch out for any placeholder aggression that might come out of them now. But you can see them already. They're just setting up on second. They want to get this frag onto Degu if they can. The force otherwise is good enough. They're pushing into top now as Street Debils. They have to be careful here because there will just be players waiting for them. Not eating that much damage onto top as Dr. Phil is holding lobby. He's going to have to turn around soon because there's just so many players on the high ground above him. Now the bomb's coming out. They want to get this kill, but F2 and the rest of his team are walking all the way back out. They're in choke already to kill onto Crizzle. That's a decent start, but look at F2's Uber. It's almost back to 75%. If this fight happens, it has to come out of the Street Debils very soon, because F2 is sitting in his own choke, and he's going to have the Uber in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, they do pop in. They don't fight too much. F2's able to save Dr. Phil just as his Uber comes up. Same. They get 2 frags. Breeze and Thomas both going down. Now there's a little pressure from Zen in towards the combo, but the combo's back out there. The Czechs had previously, up to that point, been really respecting the side of the Danes when they were close to that Uber, but this time they wanted to pop on the small ad, and they paid for it.
Yeah, they did indeed. Now Toast is going in onto last. Hellbug as well. This gets completely shut down. This Pyro, once again, it's just, I mean, the placeholder aggression is there. It's just, I'm not quite sure it's warranted, honestly. I get what they're trying to go for. It's to try and catch him out in an early round, but Street Debils are just prepared for it. They almost get wiped there. Luckily, F2 still alive, has a little bit of an advantage. Barely an advantage here. I'm not sure if they can even hold mid. I'm pretty sure their spawns got blocked, and no, they're all the way back out on second here. They're trying to peek this a little bit through Big Door, just setting up stickies, but they're going to have to just hold second here. Now, this is the point of the game, Dave, where you have to start looking at the round timer. 6 minutes left, rather, as the teams are going to have to start wearing down the clock. 1 single round cap within the next couple minutes is definitely very much in the cards, and it probably will be the map-deciding cap.
More than likely, yeah. Seeing it's really settling down, despite that 4-man sack, and F2 was able to get himself out, so both teams now 100% would traditionally be a stalemate, but Tomasz again getting caught out. I think it was a little sticky trap there from Dr. Phil, and now it means we're actually not seeing too much at all here from Placeholder. They did have the frag, but they're not even going to have anything of the suggestion of any of their gamers going in. Even with that one guy up, you'd normally expect some kind of counter sack. But as you say, this is classically a slow team, and they obviously didn't see any kind of opportunity for a sack or anything there.
So Tomasz actually goes down, but it's not the end of the world, right? Nobody pushed, like Placeholder kind of stayed where they were, and now instead, Tomasz is up. He's going to give the spy a go. I mean, he has 5 minutes rather, to do this. He has enough time to sort of get closer. It's going to take him a while, especially on this cloak and dagger, to sort of get in position to be able to make a spy play. Hopefully no one saw him open that door, and he might have actually found himself out there. I'm pretty sure Crizzle saw him do that. Might be hard for him to get in now, but obviously Placeholder gonna have to be aware something must be coming up here. He's managed to make his way onto the high ground now, but you can see where Lego was standing. I should say, oh my god, speak clearly. They're spy checking, Dave. And,
I'm not sure. Well, I don't know if Crizzle is aware that there's a spy. He's doing a good job selling it that he doesn't. Oh, the spy goes in, but he doesn't find anything. Just a whiff stab. No target for him, and looks like we're gonna have a pause actually.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, so this trade, right? The spy doesn't get anything, but you can see how close Street Debils are in choke, and look at their health. It's awful. So low. There's a soldier in China as well trying to get him behind. He's probably gonna get this back, but it's a matter honestly on him now. If he can distract, if he can be that flashbang for his team to be able to get through choke, distract the Placeholder, they can make a lot happen. But there we go, we're unpaused again, and we're paused. Seems like that means it's a player crash. Somebody disconnected. You have to unpause somebody to join. As probably connecting fairly soon, I assume.
Let's hope so, but yeah, as you say, the health is really poor at the moment. Yeah, the Dane's not really in any kind of position to make too much of it. There's no scout holding too close to choke with Hellberg on the flank. Seems we do have that unpause coming in. Chichina's actually managed to pick up the health back, get in behind, so now he's going to turn some heads, and actually it allows SLH to peek, take a demo duel with Dr. Phil, but Dr. Phil is beasting him right now, just completely locks him out of that choke. They found Chichina in the back lines as well, so that's almost all of the aggression just completely stifled there.
I mean, yeah, you have to, if you want to challenge the great ones, you have to actually be a great one. You know, you can't challenge a legend like Dr. Phil if you don't have the guts to back it up. It's gonna be difficult, right? If you are SNH, sort of going up against a guy like Dr. Phil on his main class in Division 2, depending on who you are, might be a little bit salty, honestly. I find it hard not to consider this Placeholder team sandbagging. And honestly, Street Debils, if you are considering the fact that Placeholder are definitely 100% sandbagging, the fact that they're keeping up with them this well so far, really good sign for them. I have to give a massive kudos. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and they're now trying to open up this stalemate. They're going to use the sniper with Chichina. He finds a frag on Grizzle. They do lose their demo, but that's actually, I think, possibly he timed out there and got fragged. It's probably where the pause came in. But now Toast instead of being able to run in, they're force scheduled, they overloaded the flank. They're going to go down for it, but only the two alive, the medic, Gedu, and the sniper, Chichina. So they've been forced, they're going to have to run back, and suddenly that's turned everything around. And it looks really golden here at the moment for Placeholder.
Yeah, Placeholder, they have a massive opportunity now. The giant Uber out as well. You can see the NG out of Mars is already up. So now, I mean, Placeholder, they want to get something out on second here, trying to do the best they can. They're holding lobby just to get this force out of F2. If they can get it now, it makes holding last so much easier. There's actually a soldier hiding in forward spawn, but he's found out already. Doesn't get taken down, which is big. Not losing a player now is massive. As it's 50% for Degu, but look at Placeholder, they're already into last. They're through main and the Uber comes out, pushing for the map 1 victory right now. Sentry Gun not taken care of. Sticky's still on the point. There's a Pyro just running around as SNH gets taken down. Breeze is dead as well now. Chichina found on the flank. It's a Pyro holding the point and he's doing a pretty darn good job of it. It's just Dr. Phil, but he's a projectile class versus this Pyro. Sentry Gun as well doing work. It's still not been taken down. And because of this, Dr. Phil gets shotgun down. Hellberg is dead as well. There's no spawners for F2 to run away to just quite yet, and they managed to hold it. But crucially, it's another ad for F2. Degu went down. If they built this up, they have another go at this. 1 minute left. One more shot.
Slightly interesting push that just flooded in through main. You'd expect them to just go on the point early on, and there wasn't too much stopping them, just a few stickies here and there. The gun wasn't covering the point, it was just denying any kind of pressure into spawn. They didn't get enough cap time there. But what they did, as you say, they smuggled F2 out. So now he's up. He's actually not been building very well at all. Geddy's actually somehow built uber faster than F2 here. And it's not going to be an ad at all. Will they know this, though? Will they know how poorly they've been building? They've got 40 seconds, so they're probably going to have to just trade the uber anyway. They can't lose from here, but they can certainly win it if this trade goes well.
If you're the Street Debils, you actually don't want to push this. You would rather just take this to a golden cap and get all the way to middle instead of having to risk a second push. It's much more in their favor to just hold this for another 20 seconds. But the Uber's coming in right now. Dr. Phil's found a kill into Chicino already. The Uber Pyro does a lot of work. But you can see Dr. Phil is completely uncontested under this point. Sticky's out of SNH finally come out, but it's a Pyro of their own. Toast is on the fragging class. He's on the Pyro. He's burning stuff. He wants to make his own, but he's just going to get taken down by Soldier. Everyone on a placeholder rushes to the point, but the Street Debils have managed to hold it. It's 2-2, and map 1 already is going to a golden cap.
Ooh, very, very close. You like to see the hot water attempt there coming out the last second. Wasn't quite successful. I mean, it was really the other Pyro, Tomash, just doing the Lord's work, just completely denying the point, making sure any soldiers that would come in and bomb him were going to be rebuffed. That potential, the threat of the reflect coming in. So, you really need that kind of hit scan to come in onto that point late game, and they didn't really have that there. The Danish side placeholder. So they again, a failed push. They weren't able to convert the round. Will they rue it now going into this golden gap?
I mean, it's gonna be interesting, right? I mean, most of the time, golden caps do just come down to the mid fight. And honestly, from what I've seen so far, I honestly probably give it to the Street Debils. Like, they've been playing. I don't even think they've won more mids than placeholder. They just had way more initiative on the fights. They've been the ones to take the first steps every single time. And when you're on a golden cap like this, that initiative is so crucial. A lot of teams will play scared, they'll play careful, because they know losing a mid-fight disastrously will mean a disastrous end to the golden cap. But at the same time, if you want to win a mid like Gullywash, it's all about decisiveness. It's about coordinating your team, going across into the enemy side, taking that high ground, forcing the enemy team out of mid, getting frags. I would honestly favor Street Debils. They're going to have time to talk over this mid, and it's all on placeholder here to stop this momentum. They have to find a way not only to deal with the mid fights, because I mean, yes, they've won a lot of them, but they've been through the mistakes of the Street Debils. They haven't had the high ground. Wonder what we see.
Yeah, you're definitely right in saying that the amount of high ground that the placeholder team has given up has. I mean, they haven't really been punished for it so far. From Street Debils. Street Debils have kind of been throwing their soldiers in. They've sometimes got frags or at least damage down onto Dr. Phil, be able to limit his presence so far. But what you really want to do is, when you're getting so much damage down onto the enemy demo, your demo then needs to come out roaring and just completely lock down this mid fight. And so far from SNH, we haven't really seen that. Can he pull it out for the golden gap there?
It's a tall ask, right? Because you are going up against one of the all-time European demo men in Dr. Phil, who's I don't know if he's playing anywhere near his peak, but he's definitely playing demo man, and I honestly think from what we've seen so far, he has been outperforming his Czech counterpart. It's a matter now for SNH to try and step up to that challenge, because it is a big one. It's a mountain to climb for the whole of the blue team against these much more established players. Yes, the Czech team is established as well. The Street Debils have players that have played for a while, but it's just not to the same level. Most of this placeholder team has played Prem, and they played it for multiple seasons. Toast, not in sixes, but has been a Highlander legend, is a Highlander legend, I probably should say. And it's gonna be hard to go up against this much experience. If you're a young team like the Czech team is, like Street Debils are, it's gonna be hard to keep the mental in this. You have to have a lot of mental fortitude here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call them a young team, as I say. A lot of these guys have been around the block. Chichina, obviously the one exception. I think he's really, through that regulation time, he was kind of a standout. I think the first kind of couple of minutes got two kind of big players onto F2 and basically won that first round for them. As it went on, kind of everyone's kind of bringing a lot to the game. It's not really anyone standing out to me as kind of struggling so far, but we are going to move into the Golden Gap here.
Yeah, we're back in for the Golden Cap of Map 1 of the Division 2 Finals. We've got Placeholder, we've got the Street debils, and it's all to play for here on Map 1 of Gullywash. So far, it's been a really close game. Both teams punching back and forth, and this time around, you can see once again a lot of pressure early on to drop down. The blue soldier's going to try to contest it. There is Breeze in drop down. She's going to sit and choke, wait for something to happen out of Toast, but instead Toast is going to move up to the elbow. I don't actually think he's been called. He hasn't been spotted so far, and the damage comes across from Dr. Phil. Toast is doing so much work, and SNH is already dead. Degu's stuffed into a corner in Banana here, and it's not the corner he wants to stand on. Everyone on the Street debils is going down. They don't find F2. The only player that goes down is Crizzle, and it's not enough. Placeholder have won the middle. They've won it decisively. It's so difficult for the Street debils now to hold this last. You can see the sniper comes out. Tomash has to be a hero here, has to hit the miracle shot. He switches to Pyro. It's probably the better call to try and airblast his Uber away, but they're going to have to be careful here because Placeholder are already in. The Uber comes out of River so far. It's a scout and a demo. They're doing decent damage. The Pyro does go down. There's a heavy now sitting around, keeping players off the point, but there's stickies on it. Scout plays it decently, but Zen gets taken down. Now Ticino's gone down on the flank. F2 is the only one. He's down to 28. Crizzle does not find the frags as Dr. Phil was the only one in water. Nobody else there to play with him. Crizzle now, he's in water. He's on his own, but he's spotted out by Demoman. Doesn't find a frag, and there's a heavy with a shotgun running at him. He goes down, push deflected, crisis averted for the Street debils.
I don't quite know how Placeholder beefed that. Like, found the frag onto the Pyro super early. He didn't deny the Uber whatsoever. But it seemed that Mars Heavy was just a step too far. We're now seeing a soldier go really high in the air. But after that kind of beef last push, they've now been able to move their way out onto second here. Street debils, they do have 100% up. Whether they're aware whether it's still 25% out or they're going to respect the Uber or not, we'll have to see. Looks like they're going to take it in though.
They're taking it in. They want this right now, but there's a lot of damage here from Toast already. Oh, sitting on top of point there. Decent damage. Ticino does get taken down, but now it's both soldiers. Ubers are popped out of both teams, and it's, I mean, honestly, it's Placeholder taking the win because SNH is dead, and there's a scout flanking them from Big Door. Everyone, once again, on the Street debils is dead. It's just Tomash alive, and once again, he has to try and play a hero here. They're all dead. All of Placeholder, they're running into last. There's 2 soldier spawners coming up already, but the last point is already being capped by both scouts. The heavy is just too slow, and it's map 1 for Placeholder. They take in a golden cap. First time around, they tried to get in, they got the mid fight, but the second wipe on second was enough, and they've taken map 1.
Yeah, I gotta say that's a little bit of a misplay there coming out of Street debils. Not so much that Fat Heavy just been too slow on the last, but as we say, as they tried to move into second, they must have known that it was a small ad, and they'd had so much success throughout the game with their large ads just moving into the mid really slowly. Diego played really safe, and just, you know, being able to push without getting forced, without you know, having to give up that Uber ad. But when it's a small ad like that, you can't do that kind of slow play, kind of push, kind of everyone baiting, trying to wait through. Because what it did is it gave the opportunity for Placeholder to get their Uber up, and, you know, they didn't get the position they needed with that ad they have. They ended up just stuck in a choke after a trade and got absolutely mulched.
I mean, yeah, I think honestly that comes down to a little bit of honestly inexperience. Seems like that's a situation they had not rehearsed before. They weren't quite sure how to execute it. I get the theory there, but I honestly think, as you're saying, it's so hard to do that push into Gullywash middle. F2 is playing so far back, he's going to be able to kite the Uber. He's going to be able to get the Uber charge. And when the soldiers just aren't aggressive enough, I think honestly it comes down to Toast just sitting on top of choke there, waiting to get that damage down. It completely shut down the soldiers. The aggression just could not come out. And that gave Placeholder enough time. They take map number 1 in a golden cap. We have some logs for pretty much both the regular game and the golden cap. And what I'm seeing is Dr. Phil with big numbers and SNH with similarly big numbers, actually. Surprising.
Yeah, chunky damage. I think SNH didn't perhaps I think he was generally losing those kind of demo 1v1s, as we pointed out. He seemed to be getting a lot of damage down onto everyone else, finding the odd trap kill here and there. Pretty similar stats actually between the two of them, and pretty, fairly similar across the board. Not particularly high damage, other than those two demos just putting so much work in just holding down those troop points. But across the board, elsewhere, not too much damage, not too many frags, and it wasn't really that much of a slow game. I was expecting to see a bit more frags, but I think everyone was just playing, not slow, but just kind of cautious, not really committing a lot of the time.
It falls very much into what Placeholder want to do. Because yes, they can be aggressive, as we've seen, but they very much do like to just play a little bit safe, right? A little bit more calculated. Make sure that when they're pushing in, they actually are playing off an advantage. Instead of going for like a 60-40, they'll probably go for like a 70-30. It's just a little bit of that difference. They want to play it a little bit safer, and in the end it worked, but it was very, very close. And now, going into process, I have absolutely no idea who I think is going to win.
Yeah, based on that first map, it's difficult to tell. The other thing that makes this difficult is it seems neither of these teams have played this map since week 1. Both of them had a bye game in the final week where they would have played this map. Neither of them have played so far in these playoff rounds as well. So while they've presumably had some scrims to test out their strats and warm themselves up, they haven't played an official on this map for 8 weeks, something like that now. So yeah, difficult to say. There's not too much data in terms of which is stronger on this map.
I think obviously the classic thing on process is to shift the attention a lot over to the scouts of both teams, and I'm not sure what to tell you here. I feel like, or try not to sound incredibly biased, because I do just think that Hellberg and Zen should just run over the enemy scouts. I don't even think necessarily it's Flaming Tomash and Mars, but I just feel like they just kind of got outperformed last game. It isn't that big of a deal on a map like Gullywash that is more projectile class favored. It is more about the soldiers. It is more about the demo man. But on a map like Process, it's mostly the scouts. And I think ultimately I just have to favor placeholders. Confirmed. We know Hellberg. We know Zen. We know that they can compete, not just at the Div 2 level, but at a Prem level, very highly as well. I think definitely Zen can be one of the best scouts in Europe. I'm not sure if he cares to play the game enough to do that, but he certainly has the potential to do so. It's a tall order here, especially Mars just having, I don't want to say an off game, but just didn't find the same impact as you maybe would have wanted on Gullywash.
I think definitely on paper you're right to say that you'd probably have to back the placeholder scouts, but one of the big things that was brought up to me was, this Czech team, in previous weeks they've been playing a lot around Tomasz kind of doing a lot of work in the flank, getting himself in behind, being able to kind of collapse with his soldiers bombing in at the same kind of time. And we didn't really see that on Gullywash. Whether it was a case they didn't need to kind of open that kind of second push, where the scout could do a lot of work going in through the big door. But, we didn't really see Tomasz doing too much work on the flank. He was just kind of playing with the rest of his team, fragging out, getting a decent number of frags, doing a decent amount of work. But, maybe Process will be an opportunity for him to make a little bit more out of the kind of flank players that we're used to seeing from him.
There's definitely more angles for him to do so. Instead of just on Gullywash, there is that one side. But I think another thing you have to watch out for is, yes, he has that ability, but I'm pretty sure he's the main sniper on the side of Street debils. He's going to have to be careful because the sniper on the other team, there are multiple very capable sniper players on Placeholder. It would not be a surprise for someone to play sniper on Process. We've seen it happen many a time. But once again, guys, ETF2L Season 41, Division 2 Grand Finals. We are the second to last grand final now as the mid-final has concluded. Welcome TFTV2 viewers. Map 1, it went in the way of Placeholder in a deciding, nail-biting golden cap. This time around, we're on Process, we're on mid, and it's a lot of damage early on. Onto Tomasz, eats a nice little sticky out of Dr. Phil, and it's Toast and Chichin in the meantime are going to be trading frags. Decent damage there onto SNH, actually ends up cratering because Crizzle is found too. Finally gets taken down, the scouts not able to frag him out. Took the pill with the pill on to Mars. takes him out. And now it's just Tomash and Chichino left alive, but Chichino's a spawner. Tomash is going to try to run in, all guns blazing onto F2. Does not find the frag. It's a clean victory for Placeholder.
Yeah, again, kind of a strange mid-fight where the Danes gave up so much high ground, but now they're going to move it in towards last. They're cleanly through one. They didn't even have to pop. Everyone's at the moment hiding in spawn, hiding in the secret area. Uber coming in towards the right spawn, onto the double scout chariot. There's now a bomb coming in from Toast. He's going to find himself up in the secret, going to spam some rockets down onto Mars. He's able to back up into spawn. There's 2 scouts on the cap, a lot of caps on down. Just 2 players up here for the checks. The cleanup is in. Dr. Phil in a great position to just clean everything up, and it's going to be Placeholder here taking the first round.
Very nice stuff out of them. They played the advantage they have. Obviously, they got that pretty much a wipe on mid, and that allowed them to just go full speed ahead on to that last. They've managed to cap the first point. Very nice stuff out of them, playing it pretty much by the book there. And now Chichino, he's going to go for a fast rollout here. He's going to delay it a little bit, but he's going to go quick. But there's another soldier. He's going to get called down immediately, and Dr. Phil has stickies up already. It's high ground, at least at the beginning here for Crizzle, but he's going to have to be careful because now Soldier bombs in straight onto F2. Gets shot out. He's in choke now. No heals for the red side for a little bit, but it doesn't matter because SNH gets taken down by Toast, and everyone else on Street debils are just going to go down. Degu gets out this time, though, and that is a big deal. But no, Demo Man, they can't even, honestly, they can't really hold second here.
No, they're just hiding themselves in one. They're going to back up. That was a really huge bomb coming in from Breeze. He landed a rocket onto, I think, 3 different people. He juggled F2 back into his own choke, juggled the other players forward, though. And they just served it forward, used the momentum to pressure the Czechs out of the game. And at the moment, we're seeing yet again this Street debils team struggling to get across the point, struggling to, follow up on the damage that the soldiers are putting down.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a little bit of a lack of coordination. Toast was on the sniper, gets completely shut out. Now Tomash is on the sniper as well, but he gets spammed out of rollout. Breeze tried to walk through lobby as spy, but unfortunately got tagged by a spam rocket as Zen was standing right in front of him. This time around, Dr. Phil is going to kill him with spam pipes. So not having the best of times. Running the dagger that gets you to 100 HP means you just get one shot by spam pipes, which is a little bit unlucky.
When you get that pick, though, you can run so fast you can get a second pick. Then that ends up on Beater's frag video at the end of the season. So
it's very funny because Dr. Phil is literally standing on second, just spamming pipes into lobby and just tags Breeze, who's 100 HP. Just gets taken down. Very unlucky. He's a bit angry about it in the chat. Dr. Phil confused, as he would be. When you get old, things start to make less sense.
We're gonna see a sniper duel, but Toast just ends up getting spammed down by SLH at the moment. Pretty decent looking hold, to be honest. From the Seattle Street debils, they're actually gonna peek their sniper out of upper lobby. Hit a nice little shot into Crizzle. He gets mostly denied. They're trying to lock him down. Everyone's just giving up so much position here on Placeholder, but it seems no one's there to peek really for the side of Street debils. They get a little bit skittish back up. And really only, with Chichino going down, they want to play around the sentry gun that they do have on last.
It's still, you have to be really, really keep your eyes out here for Tomash. Still on sniper. If he gets a single headshot onto the enemy, it gets so hard for Placeholder. Obviously, a soldier kill is not the end of the world. You can back off to second if you're a Placeholder. But really, you'd rather not give up any position, but there we go. Toast just gets taken down, and this gives Tomash a little bit more of an angle. Get into lobby, try to peek out, do something with the sniper. They know he's on it. It's going to be the least surprising sniper in the world, but maybe he can do something anyway. Breeze is trying to make space. He's trying to find frags, but unfortunately he's not enough. Crizzle taken care of as well in the meantime. So they trade soldiers 1 for 1. No off-classes coming out of Placeholder. They seem to have given it up. Toast was going for some very aggressive angles. Not able to find any kills. So we're back. Degu just sitting on a dispenser, as he does. On last, doesn't want to get caught out by anything. Off classes are not in favor for Placeholder. You're going to keep the standard vanilla lineup. Tomash is going to keep rolling the dice and just finds a nice little headshot to Toast.
Yeah, now a bomb coming in. It gets mostly juggled in the edge of G. They can't find a target. Can't even land on the floor. I think he's cleaned up before he even lands. But hasn't done too much damage. It seems. At least briefly, Thomas still wanted to peek out, try and find some kind of position. Spam comes his way, so he has decided to back himself up, but I think he now is sniping on sniper for good couple of minutes. I don't think he's been fragged just yet. He does find another frag onto Toast. I think Toast has died something like 4 times in the whole time he's been on Sniper.
Breeze has found a kill into Dr. Phil, and that's absolutely massive. That's an opportunity to go on a half. With a Demo Man down, it means that the Street Debils are trying to get more aggressive. You see how passively Placeholder are holding. The HP is not that great as well. Dr. Phil has to respawn for the rest of his team to come back and sort of keep them on second here. There was no further aggression here because Chichina pretty much bit the dust as soon as Dr. Phil got killed as well. Breeze found that kill onto the Demo Man. It could have been something to go for, but unfortunately it's just not. There we go, double soldier sack. They find a kill onto the Demo Man, but it's not enough. The sentry gun does so much work. Dr. Phil has to be careful and not be hit. But does get taken down. The Breeze there. Now it's 2 down. There's no Demo Man. If Placeholder are gonna push, maybe they still don't want to do it. They don't have soldiers, but I mean, no Demo Man. SNH is not dead, or is not alive rather. They get down the sentry gun. Dr. Phil's going forwards here, but he gets dropped. The Uber does come out of F2 now, and it's Dr. Phil dead, which means that there is no position to be gained on last whatsoever. The Uber gets traded, unfortunately. Dr. Phil was just out of sight for F2, and it's the scouts running forwards trying to find frags, but Hellberg and Zen are both getting taken down now. It's only 1 dead for the Street Debils. They take decent damage on top here on second, but they're going to be able to take that. They take control of second. It's even Ubers still, but you would much rather be holding second than last.
Yeah, they'll certainly be happy with this. You know, obviously as soon as, you know, that trade ends up coming in and the demo gets dropped out of it, it's kind of sad to see, but it was interesting, you know, how committed Placeholder were. They still, you know, threw some players in, threw the dice, traded a couple of frags here and there, ended up getting the worst of it, so it does mean that finally they've been pushed off this imperious position they did have on the enemy's second. Now means that here Street Debils get to hold their own second for the first time in this game. They're looking a little bit down the choke. There's a big bomb coming in from Toast, but Gedu just surfs it away, and there's 2 scouts ready to clean him up.
Counter aggression comes out of Breeze as well. Tries to go through PC, but immediately shut down there by Crizzle. So now there's a soldier down on both teams. We've been in this situation before. Last time we were on the blue last instead, and now it's going to be interesting. How do Placeholder try and break this? They're going through towards sewer here as they're going to try to push forwards. Decent damage actually coming across. Soldier bomb doesn't do that much damage, but they get the Uber pop out here, but it's so terrible here for Placeholder. Dr. Phil is in behind, but it's toast dead already. They're playing towards top IT, but they're just all going to get cleaned up here. Chichina does so much damage, but look at this. They managed to force the position down a decent bit, but it's only really going to allow Placeholder to back out towards PC. I say back out. Instead, they're just going to stand and let all the Street Debils kill all of them. Instead, Street Debils is just going to take second. They take that any day of the week. I don't know what Placeholder are doing in PC there.
That was a huge overcommit. They lost a soldier, they lost Dr. Phil as well. So when you've got 2 of your spam classes out, if you're taking a fight like that in IT, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to win. Your scouts have to hit absolutely everything and have to dodge everything, and that didn't happen. One of the soldiers just gets in their faces, gets a frag. Ooh. Now, they've been able to move themselves up into second. Bomb coming in. I think it's Toast launching himself in. Doesn't see the medic scrapping here on the fight, but Mars is on the chase. He's on a 5k. Gets a lot of damage down onto F2. They're not going to clean it up, but they are going to bully them at least back onto last.
Yeah, I mean, they give up 2 kills for that, and honestly, that lets Street Debils go for a play here, because they're just going to find Dr. Phil. He gets caught unawares, and now this Uber has to be big for them, as it's actually popped out first by F2 as well, but the health on the blue side is absolutely abysmal. But doesn't really matter, because they're just playing the point. It's so much damage. That Soldier Bomb from Chichina is massive. They haven't found more than 1 frag, and there we go. The health is finally going to pay its dues, as everyone on the blue side, they have to either run away or they're going to hit the respawn queue, because Degu is far back. The Ubers were popped out of both teams. It's not the end of the world, but they cannot hold second any longer. Placehold, they respond, but it got a little bit too close for comfort. The soldier bombs are doing damage as well.
And Mars is really feeling himself there, but is feeling himself a little bit too much. Does get cleaned up by a nice little rocket. It was a really nice position briefly for Street Debils with Dr. Phil pick, but I think just Gedu had overcommitted. And now he's got caught out as well on mid, going down, so no medic here, no heals up. Trying to get some damage down onto F2. A big bomb coming in from Breeze lands on his head, and Goomba stomps him, finding the rocket. Both medics traded. It's ended up shaking out slightly better here for Placeholder, but they have at least found that frag onto F2.
Yeah, that kill out of Breeze is round salvaging. If they did not manage to get that kill, Placeholder would be knocking on the Street Debils last already. Instead, they're going to have to take second. They have to be content with that. So far, they're also losing Crizzle here on the flank, which means that now Street Debils are going to play this aggressively. They know they could try and get into second, and Placeholder, they have to give it up as well. They're 2 down, no soldiers. No contest. It's an advantage for Degu as well, because he went down so much earlier. He's got a 40% advantage. They could roll this in onto middle because there's still no soldiers for the red team. They haven't made it to mid yet, and there's a single soldier bombing him to Dr. Phil. It's a lot of damage. He still hasn't been taken care of. But Degu, he's taken down by Crizzle, and now it's an absolute munch and choke. Everyone is so low. Mars is the hide in sewer, and he's gonna get taken down in a flash. Gets taken down. Breeze is in lobby, and he cannot contest second at all. It's only 2 up. Tomash is on engineer, but does he even have time to build a sentry gun? They're gonna cap this out, but look, they're leaving Dr. Phil to cap. I guess it's okay, as he is on the pain train, and the sentry gun should just get taken down, spammed out, and there are so many red players on the point. They get the cap, and now 2-0 for Placeholder. 18 minutes. It's looking a lot better for them than Gullywash.
Yeah, just all off Crizzle there, coming in through the flank and just finding all those players bunched up on the choke, just absolutely nailing them. So much damage coming down. And yeah, good conversion as well, as you say, leaving the demo man to cap. Kind of unconventional, but it certainly worked.
This time around on the middle, once again, Crizzle just bombing that high ground early on. He needs a lot of demo spam for the beginning here, but it's going to be Breeze who's going to be bombing onto this right side. Going to do a lot of damage. Actually, Placeholder eating so much spam, and the nice little air pipe out of SNH instead means that actually Crizzle's going to get completely taken down. Both soldiers down now for Placeholder. They're trying to move forward here. Dr. Phil has to do so much work, and so far it seems to be working decently. It's a kill onto Mars, but it's still just 3. SNH is jumping forwards. It's a kill onto F2 because Breeze in the back line gets to spam onto him. It's just the pills still left alive, and he's gonna get taken down. SNH, big stuff out of him. Find the pipes to make it all work. Both soldiers up. They're gonna have to find something here because Degu has a giant advantage.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about these teams, but it seems whichever team kind of dominates the high ground on these mid-fights ends up somehow losing the mid-fights. They were flooding all over the boxes and the crates and everything on the side of Placeholder, but they weren't able to find any damage. And, you know, eventually just cleanup was just better for the Czechs. They end up taking the mid-fight, and now they're going to have an opportunity to push last and get themselves back in the game.
The Uber comes out pretty much immediately. That sentry gun does so much work denying the demo. Pyro as well means that it spent ages taking down Helva gun. Now it's finally been taken care of, but Stickies is still on the point. The heavy on the high ground does a lot of work. Breeze is now dead. Chichina has to just run for the hills as well. He's 6 HP. Somehow not even making it out alive because Zen is right there with his pistol. They are forced all the way back out the Street Debils. It's a kill onto Crizzle, but a kill onto Tomash means that it's now only 3 up for the Street Debils. Yes, they have a spawner, but he's just not there in time. They're going to have to back out onto second, out of second, and on to middle. It's an uber charge advantage here for F2 as well. Placeholder, they want to keep this rolling here. They want to keep going forwards because a pipe into Breeze doesn't get the force. Dr. Phil is still alive. They're going to want to keep rolling this forward. Degu is 70%. They're going to have to go mid, and they want to do it pretty fast. There we go. The bomb's coming in already. They're taking space on middle. The Street Debils, they don't want much to do this. They don't want to get forced. I don't want them to take this fight on middle. There we go. There's a soldier high in the air. Doesn't get skyboxed. Unfortunate for the frag video. Crystal's actually taken down, but now it's even Ubers. A decent damage coming out. The Street Debils are trying to fight this. The Ubers are traded. There's no Dr. Phil in this fight because he took so much damage out of SNH. In the meantime, he does get flashed, but look at where F2 is standing. His positioning is awful, but it's not enough. Breeze is taken down on the high ground now to Zen, but he gets taken down in the meantime. The soldier bombs forcing them out onto second, but they're still alive. They're still kicking. Not dead yet, but maybe for not that much longer. They have second, but the bomb out of SNH is going to force Placeholder back on last. That looks so good for them, but they managed to hold on the Street Debils. They took the fight on mid, and it's worked out for them.
Yeah, great aggression. Seeing that they knew they had to pick, they thought they'd given up the mid-fight, but because, as you say, Dr. Phil was pushed back quite a long way, meant he wasn't able to hold the choke. They just peeked themselves in there, the Czechs, saw that there was no stickies or pipes or anything coming their way, were able to just take a straight fight with the extra man, and now they've been able to move it on to last. F2 is up at the Uber a little bit before Gedu is here. but you know they're not really in a position here, the Danes, where they're going to want to make anything of that, and we're actually going to see Breeze has brought himself up on the spy class.
He's on the spy, and Hellberg is on the sniper. It's a race to who can find a pick first. I'm pretty sure that sniper was called, and Degu is all the way hiding back down on the staircase. In the meantime, Breeze managed to find his way forwards. He's sitting on spawn now. He's going to go for a cheeky little Dr. Phil play. No, he's going for F2, actually. His back is open. Nobody's looking at him. He's still healing him. He goes one stab, but the sentry gun saves him. And in the meantime, Chechina's gone down as well, which means now it's 2 down. No soldiers for Street Debils. They're going to back up onto second now. They cannot hold close anymore. No soldiers means it's so hard to spam lobby. But in the meantime, the sentry gun is still up for the Danes, so they don't really want to push this. There's no reason to. They have 2 points. It's 13 minutes for them as well. They can just sit back and hold. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah, that was an ambitious spy play. He decloaked in the right spawn door and walks all the way across the point to try and get the medic in the left spawn door. Don't think I've ever seen that kind of play work where the spy's having to traverse half of the map to get a pick, but you know, he at least managed to get onto the medic himself, but you know, not going to get a frag there, so they're going to have to go back to the drawing board here and find some other kind of idea. And at the moment it's pretty standard, but Chechina going down means they do have an opportunity to perhaps off-class base that.
Toast is on the battalion's backup as well. We're going to have plenty of time to build that up. You can see the Danes are not interested at all in second, unless the enemy team comes in and completely defeats. So as a response, Tomash is going to try his hand on the sniper. Last time around, he was able to kill Toast like 4 times in a row and not much else. This time around, going to try his luck sniping into Lost instead of out of Lost. Might make the difference, but you have to watch out because Hellberg is on the other end as well. The sniper for both teams should be called out. There we go. The sniper has been spotted, definitely. Now it's up to who can win this sniper duel. It's a headshot onto Crizzle to start off. Counter headshot onto Tomash does not kill him because he was buffed. But the Uber trade is coming out into the lobby here. They know they can take this because there surely is a banner on Toast. But he has to live to pop the banner if they want to use it. Instead, he's going to go into 5 players and just get taken down. The banner does nothing. And instead, they've traded absolutely... I mean, they got absolutely nothing. Breeze is dead, but he managed to take the sentry gun, which opens the door for a bit more aggressive out of the Street Debils. But Chechina's dead, which means now they're 3 down. Sniper still for Tomash, which means I think we're finding ourselves right back into stalemate here. Oh, aggression coming out already. Actually, Soldier coming in. Placeholder, they want to go forwards here. They're pushing in through lower. There's a lot of damage. F2 is so weak. 50 HP, but Tomash is not quite finding the shots. Toast has found a kill onto Degu. It's hard for the Street Debils to stay in because their health is not that nice. And there's just so much damage coming out of Crizzle here. But they're finding the frags. They're still on last Dr. Phil and F2 because Breeze is there. He is taken down by Dr. Phil, but it's hard for Placeholder. They're 3 up. Yes, there's no medic. Street Debils, they've managed to hold on, but they have to be careful. They have to watch out for the Uber ad. Tomash, he's feeling himself in the sniper here. He's trying to find one. Can he dodge? No. Okay, the demo man. He is a demo man.
He dodged for so long though that he's allowed the Czechs here to try and bust through the one to see a heavy weapons guy in front of them, so they're gonna think better of it, not committing to last. They had a long opportunity there where I think it was like 4 against just the 2 gamers up for the Danes. Everyone was so far back on mid or sewers or whatever. Uber does come out here onto Zen. Toast is going to follow up. They're going to clean up SLH, the demo man. Going to launch Degu man a nice little swivel away. It's going to keep him alive. There's a backup coming in. Everyone is just stacking. Was going for it, but as it does settle down, it seems actually has shaken out a lot better here for the Czechs, and they are going to be able to bring themselves back onto second with the sniper still in hand.
Breeze put up an absolutely heroic fight against Dr. Phil on last. Unfortunately, not quite able to make it work. Had he killed Phil there, he would have just won the round. But it doesn't really matter because Dr. Phil's busy fighting Breeze on last. It means he's not there for the Uber ad push. It gives the Street Debils time. They have a full advantage now to play with. There's a sentry gun out of Hellberg instead of a sniper. A heavy for Zen. Going to try to deny the Street Debils. The Uber comes out now, and the heavy, it's decent damage. SNH finds F2 immediately, but the scout doesn't get flashed on the point. The sentry gun manages to find him, but now the damage out of the blue demo man is immense. There is so many players on Placeholder who are just not able to get there in time. It's just Toast left, and it's not enough. Street debils are on the board, and they have 10 minutes to play for. They're down a round. It's 2-1 still for Placeholder, but that's a nice round. They manages to respond, and honestly, it's all off of the back of that Breeze last play. He didn't get the round cap himself, but he got the kill into Dr. Phil. He completely stopped the fight out of Placeholder, and it means now, coming into mid, it's all momentum in that favor.
Yeah, we're going to see Dr. Phil roll out just a little bit. That's quite a bit faster than SLH is kind of slow. Toast and Crizzle all the way in. They're so slow here on the check side, but a big bomb coming in from Breeze lands on Dr. Phil's head. Is it going to be enough? Both of the soldiers here down. Toast is in as well. Finds Gedu as well. The follow-up is coming in. It's going to be Chichin. Crizzle launching himself in. He gets a frag as well, traded out.
Mars?
But Thomas just the one survivor. But the crucial survivor of the mid-fight was F2. Didn't do much healing, only up at the 70% mark, but did keep himself alive.
Thomas is going for a play out of PC. Just tries to take a 1v1 with Zen and hope for the best. Fortunately, it didn't quite work, and now it's a giant ad here for F2. You can see they are actually sort of setting up. They don't want to get caught out by any players. Getting another round now is immense. Sort of completely denied that momentum that the Street debils had. It's a full jump coming in out of Breeze. He almost hits that air shot onto F2, but he just manages to live, and now it's a kill onto a soldier here. SNH gonna have to walk back to last for the rest of his team. NG has a level 2, gonna be a level 3 by the time they push. It's an Uber ad, but not for much longer. Degu now is 85%. If Placeholder are going to push this, going to have to go quick, and they're going to have to focus the medic. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get this in time. It looks like they're taking Lobby. I don't think they should go on this anymore. Degu has it, but the Uber comes out anyway. They're going to have to take care of the sentry gun, but with the pyro there, it's going to be difficult. The sentry gun does disappear, and the counter Uber comes out now. Blue side is seeming to get the better position. It's a kill onto Crizzle, and the bombs out of the blue soldiers find Dr. Phil. It's a lot of damage onto Toast and Lobby as well. Doesn't quite go down, but it's enough because Sen is dead. Everyone else on a Placeholder has to run away because Toast is weak. Hellbug is weak. F2 is not healing. He's in PC alone. He finally links up with a scout in the Street debils. They hold on for just a little bit longer. They have a player ad. They have to keep going, but if Toast just bombs in and kills SNH, it's so much harder.
Yeah, just a little bit of overextension there. I mean, Placeholder had given them an opportunity because they were so slow moving into last. Breeze, went in for a sack play, slowed them down a little bit, but they gave him time to not only get the Uber on the side of the checks, but for the Saka to spawn as well. So the push was never going to work. Now they're trying to move themselves back into second.
Breeze has found the kill onto F2. It's absolutely massive. The health is not that good on the Street debils, which means they're probably going to lose second because there's a positional ad, but they can just play this slowly. There we go. SNH is going to walk forward. They have to be careful because they actually managed to get the force onto Degu. That's huge. If they had to manage to keep that for a little bit longer, played a little bit slower, yes, they wiped the team, but they only get to use the Uber to get onto second. This gives F2, they have enough time to kite this back. If you are the Street debils, there's one button to press, and it is the W key. They have to go now because they don't even have an advantage, but they have a player ad. They can take mid, but they don't get to take second because everyone on Placeholder is up. I feel like they could have gotten more from that kill onto F2, but Breeze, he's having high impact right now. Really shining.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. I mean, it was a tough decision. Either they tried to back up to last and recycled the Uber and kept that Uber alive, or they, continued the fight to second with the gamer down. It means they ended up getting forced. They did, and Placeholder just making sure they get the force out. They committed everyone. They fully wiped for it. But at the end of the day, hasn't shaken out too badly for them. They get a lot of position here on the side of the checks, but they've lost both of the soldiers for it. So now we can see the Danes put themselves back. Pedal to the metal. SMH wants to take an aggressive trade into the choke point. He's going to get Zed for it. But F2 doesn't even have the Uber yet. If Dr. Phil gets saved, which he does, it's going to allow them to flood forward. They're going to catch Gedu out. They do lose Toast. So it's an extra fragging gamer here. And F2's coin absolutely no man's no one with him at all. Just completely separated. Dementia coming in. Not sure where he is whatsoever. Gets found out. But at the end of the day, there's only a couple of gamers alive. It's a scrappy MGE all over the place.
That was so unfortunate for the placeholder. It felt really good going into middle, but unfortunately they just got split up. The push was really slow. The Uber came out of F2, but he could only really use it to save his players. They didn't get any height for the post Uber at all. They just got stuffed back into choke, with Breeze getting in on the flank as well, getting that back cap going, splitting them up even further. It just allowed the Street Debils to roll this forward. They're trying to go all the way into last here, by the way. It's a lot of damage though from post. They don't find a single frag. Degu is really, really low, but a kill to Dr. Phil is absolutely huge. They have to be careful though, because this heavy can still pump out numbers. SNH is so low, but he's hitting so many pipes. It's just not enough. The heavy's still alive. Chichina Zen gets arrowed down by Degu, and they've tied it up. It's 4 minutes left, and it's all to play for here on map 2. Street Debils are not out of the shed at all.
Wow. I mean, I think that was actually a really clutch arrow going from Gedio. Zen was only on a very slither of health, but you know, I think he was a lot more loaded. The soldier for the checks there was, didn't have any rockets available. Would he have been cleaned up? Doesn't matter. Gedio finds the frag and they find the round back at 2-2.
This time around, there's a soldier on the red side, placeholder, playing in towards their PC. There's a second blue soldier is as well in the enemy PC. It's Mars getting called out pretty early, which just allows Dr. Phil free reign on the point and free reign over the blue choke. Now you can see already Zen's eyes are turned towards his own choke. They know there's a guy behind. Breeze is stuck on enemy second. He's 80 HP, and it's going to be difficult for him to find anything. He wants to coordinate something with the rest of his team, but it's hard for him to find an angle to get in. You can see the Street Debils are trying to poke in through their own second here, but the sticky's on point. It makes it really difficult. They're blown back to rock here, but Dr. Phil is still sitting snugly on his own point right now. The bomb comes out of Breeze. It actually gets a force out of F2. They spend a lot of time trying to take him down, and the Uber's popped out of Degu as well. Now neither team really taking the high ground. There we go. It's the blue side. Scout and Soldier doing their bit to try and take it, but Chichina gets called out, and the rockets out of the blue soldiers crizzle. Absolutely huge. SNH is almost dead as well. Now Dr. Phil just takes his moment to go forward. They found the demo frag. It's only 3 alive. Tomash, Breeze, and Degu, and they're all the way back on their last. The Ubers are even, but placeholder, they don't want second. They want last. They want the process. They want the round, and they want the game.
They're gonna find Getu in the spawn. They're gonna find Breeze as well. There's not gonna be any heals. There is a heavy weapons guy up. The second cap has come in. But there are so many gamers here.
So low. They've managed to find the kill. Okay, but SNH is actually still alive. The scout on the point is not enough. And there we go. Placeholder 2-3. If I was the Twitch chat, I'd be posting some Denmark winner like right now, or I will ban you. I have moderator. Please post Denmark winner. I will ban you. It's 2-3 for the Street Debils now. They have to find something. They have a minute and a half. It's enough time for a round, but it has to be a good middle here.
Yeah, they need a really clean mid-fight here. And SNH again a little bit slower than Dr. Phil. Big bomb coming in from Chichina. Launches Dr. Phil in the air. He gets cleaned up by Mars. Actually full damage, but the scout just peppered him down. He's on. Denmark have not been slowed down. They want to continue to pressure across the point. They've cleaned up Gedu, so it means no opportunity now for an Uber to be built up here for the checks. They're going to flood in, going to try and find something onto F2. The moment Zen is doing a really able job of protecting him, but F2 has been separated a little bit. Big bomb coming in from Breeze. Finds Dr. Phil on the rollout. And F2, the only one man alive, he's back on last, but he's only built up 50% Uber.
It's enough for the ad. They're going to have Uber to probably, honestly, I think crucially here, they're going to have the Uber to try and maybe hold second right. You can see there's no real blue players on the second point right now. They're going to have to fight for this. They only have 40 seconds. If they want to stay in this game, they're going to have to take it. They're going to have to take it quick. Placeholder know this. They just have to stall this out a little bit. Take this fight. Make it hard. Give them as little time as possible on last. Street Debils now, they're walking through choke. The Uber comes out of F2, and it's a lot of damage, but they're not finding any frags. There we go. Mars, Tomash is both down. No scouts now. Chichina taken down as well. It's a bomb out of Crizzle on the flank as well. Does a lot of damage to SNH. He goes down. 20 seconds as Breeze is taken care of. Chichina dead as well. It's just Degu left alive. He's in his own choke, going for miracle pipes. And unfortunately, the Street Debils, they tried their hardest. They put up a fight. But in the end, it's the one and only. I want to yell this. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Denmark winner!
Everyone's
I want to see some way too dank in chat now. And some Denmark winner.
There we go. Yep, the Danes cleaning it up as you destroy everyone's eardrums.
Yep, as we do.
But yeah, just overall, you have to say they're just a little bit stronger. Won the most of the mid fights here on Process, and just overall, as we say, they made their experience kind of show, and it is really difficult to play against the likes of Zen and Dr. Phil especially. Some hairy moments here and there, but those two I think really stood out to me.
Yeah, I mean, they put up a show, especially Breeze there towards the end. He kind of slammed. He did so much work for his team, giving them the opportunities. I feel like, honestly, yes, this is a 2-0, but they can keep their heads held high. They played really, really well. I think if they stay together, there's a bright future ahead of this team. On the other side, the old men have still got it, kind of. Maybe instead of winning Div 2, do something a little bit more impressive. But I mean, good stuff. They've managed to win Div 2. Congratulations, there's your consolation prize. Do it in Div 1. Thank you.
Yep, they'll be happy with their medals that will come sometime in the next 3 years, I imagine. Get some gold medals to show off. I think also, at the end of the day, this is coming towards the end of the life cycle of TF2. These guys just want to play together, want to play with their friends, and if they can win doing it, I think jobs are good on, really.
I mean, yeah, it's good stuff from both teams, honestly. It's a shame that Street Debils had to play against sandbaggers, but everyone knows that LEGO are sandbaggers. It's always been this way. It will continue to be this way forever and ever. Once again, shoutouts to Placeholder. They managed to take it. There were two close maps. I kind of wanted a third in like a masochistic way, but in the end, we did it in two. I am glad.
Yeah, I mean, both two close maps, about as close as you can go. Both of them go down to the wire, and obviously the golden cap on the first one. So, as you say, Czechs can definitely hold their heads high, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the Danes are taking it, and you can now go celebrate. Bring out the confetti guns here, Wandum.
Yeah, bring out the 2-ball. Bring out the what else? Bring out the Fliskestei. Bring out the snaps. Bring out the Gammeldansk. Everyone knows. Everyone, if you know, you know. The Gede is powerful. It's dangerous. And I was honestly really looking forward to introducing my international friends to the wonders of Danish alcohol, which is great and so bad it's funny, which is about the only expectation I can set. But I do think, unless you have anything else, Dave, I think maybe we should call it a night.
I just want to do a big shout out to Kazuki, who gave me a lot of the info before today's game, so I sounded like I knew a little bit more about what I was talking about than I would have actually otherwise done. So shout out to him.
I also want to give a quick shout out to Habib for similarly telling me that Placeholder were going to win, and then swiftly also saying Denmark winner, which is thank you. That's a true countryman right there. Also, we just had the Div 2 finals. Don't forget, this is the finals week of ETF2L, boys. On Sunday, got the Prem finals coming up. I do believe Justin Jazz, our producer, who's been with us from across the pond, he says in the Mumble chat that he wants a quick shout in. I don't know what that means, but I'm giving him the floor now to do whatever he wants.
Hey, I said let me get a shout in, right? So English, the words are very important.
He wants a shout in.
Yeah, I'm getting my shout in so I can get a
Yes.
shout out. There we go. No, just shout outs. I don't know, both teams. It was a fun game. Shout outs to all of Europe TF2. You guys are fun to watch. A change from how it was a few years ago. And just most importantly, I don't know, shout out the broad competitive sixes community. It's a fun game to watch. This is actually probably my last production for the foreseeable future. I'm kind of just bored of it. I'm bored of the game, but it's a game I've had a lot of good memories out of, and it's a fun game to cap it off on. So, and shout outs as always, Dave, Wandum, and more importantly, shout outs to my girlfriend and my dad. That's it. Bring it home.
All right, I'm pretty sure with that, Helberg is now posting his other aliases in chat, which means it's time to leave. So, good night, everyone. Once again, come back on Sunday. We got Prem We've got the two best teams in Europe. They're playing. We've got Cadus on an analyst desk. We've got two of the best casters. We've got Turbo Tabs. We've got Bumfreeze. As we need to stop posting math in chat. It's over. Let's stop this nerd stuff in chat. And